Top 10 menacing villains that Batman dated. Genius, playboy, billionaire, philanthropist. Oh wait, seems that we're in the wrong universe. Well, all of it reigns true when talking about the Dark Knight's civilian identity, the richest man in Gotham, Bruce Wayne. Apart from being the world's greatest detective, and arguably the strongest human to ever live, Bruce Wayne is an abundance of other things. He is a woman's man, whose magnetic persona never falters in enticing meritorious women. Bruce Wayne's charisma is often portrayed as a critical factor in his success with women. He is depicted as a confident and suave gentleman who exudes charm and sophistication. His status as a billionaire also adds to his allure, as he can offer women a luxurious lifestyle and access to exclusive events and experiences. However, it is important to note that Bruce Wayne's womanizing behavior is not without its flaws. While he is often depicted as a smooth talker who effortlessly woos women, his relationships are usually short-lived and superficial. He frequently uses his charm and money to lure women, and his commitment to them is often questionable. But what happens when the woman in question is also a mastermind in her own right and has their own agendas to fulfill? So is the case in the following 11 entries, where Batman was in romantic cahoots with villainous characters. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. When Scarecrow's fear toxin almost led Bruce Wayne into the arms of the gold digger Jillian Maxwell. When Bruce Wayne was newly treading the path of becoming a successful image of fear in the eyes of criminals, he was having great trouble hitting the right balance between his health, personal life, and his superhero work for Gotham. We could see him constantly struggling to balance his duties with his life as Batman while sacrificing his health. We witnessed these struggles of Batman in the comic titled Batman: Legends of the Dark Knight Halloween Special #1. In the story, Batman is shown to be in pursuit of the psychologist turned psychopath named Jonathan Crane, also known as Scarecrow. We get to see the classic Batman detective work on a case concerning an evasive criminal on the loose who constantly messes with some essential part of Gotham City. After a brief scuffle, Batman is able to capture the criminal and hand him over to the ever so competent Gotham City Police Department, who eventually loses hold of him. After this interaction, all Batman desired was a good night's sleep, as he had not slept in several days by this point. But his duties as Bruce Wayne came crashing in, and he had to attend a charity event that he was hosting because some people attending the event paid millions of dollars to the Wayne Foundation charities in hopes of meeting Bruce. While at the costume party, Bruce was approached by a girl of the upper level that he did not recognize. To his surprise, he was quite attracted to the woman, and she showed interest in him too. She eventually introduced herself as Jillian Maxwell after surprising Bruce in his bedroom. Bruce and Jillian even went on a date for a horse ride after spending some quality time on a patio. During this time, Batman continued with his struggle to capture Scarecrow and his effort to balance his personal desires with his duty. However, Alfred had his apprehensions about Jillian from the start. He went against the orders of Bruce and breached his privacy because he cared for him. In his research, he found out that Jillian had a massive criminal record. She used an abundance of other aliases and seduced men who were young, wealthy, and aristocratic. All of these targeted men would later disappear, which led to Jillian claiming all of their riches under her name. Bruce was heartbroken to hear all of this from Alfred, and since he acted out on his own, Alfred also offered to put in his resignation. This feeling of betrayal made Batman get back on his feet to focus on what was important. We see Jillian again in Brazil, now disguised as Audrey, when Batman sends her a note stating, "Confess," instilling fear in the mind of another criminal. Batman and Catwoman's on and off romance. The relationship between Batman and the Catwoman Selina Kyle is a complex one. They share a love-hate relationship where they would often find themselves on opposite sides of the law. However, their connection is undeniable, and they have had numerous romantic encounters throughout their history. Batman was first introduced in 1939, while Catwoman appeared in 1940, making the Bat and Cat go way back in time. Their dynamic has evolved over time, from being adversaries to allies and even occasional partners in crime fighting. In recent adaptations, their relationship has been depicted as a more equal and respectful partnership, with both characters acknowledging each other's strengths and weaknesses. Their relationship is often portrayed as a reflection of their respective alter egos. Batman represents order and justice, while Catwoman represents chaos and rebellion. Together, they form a balance between the two, with each influencing the other in different ways. In 1977, the Earth 2 continuity, Batman was successful in diverting Selina from her life as a criminal and convincing her her to marry him. The reformed Catwoman even ended up having a baby with Batman, who grew up to become the Huntress. In the 1992 movie Batman Returns, their relationship is explored throughout the story. While Catwoman and Batman build the foundation of their relationship, Bruce and Selina are also drawn towards each other. What was unknown to them for most of the movie was that they were Batman and Catwoman. They end up parting ways because of their lifestyle in this continuity, like many others. By the 2000s, the fans were really invested in their relationship, and Batman would even confess his love for Catwoman by revealing his true identity as a sign of trust. The writers also started writing Catwoman's story in a more anti-hero kind of style. In the legendary movie The Dark Knight Rises, we finally get to see a happy ending for our two mainstays. After Catwoman helps Batman defeat Bane and the League of Shadows, the two would go away and start a new life together. In the main 2017 continuity, Batman popped the question to Selina by getting down on one knee on a rainy rooftop while both of them were unmasked in their costumes. The preparations for their wedding would begin, but right when everything seems perfect, Selina does not show up at the wedding. This was revealed to be a selfless act from her, as she knew that having a happy wedded life would mean Batman would exist no more. Realizing that the world needs Batman, Selina backs down, and Bruce does not get his happy ending after all. Poison Ivy's strange seduction methods worked on Batman. Poison Ivy, also known as Dr. Pamela Isley, is one of Batman's most formidable foes, and her unique abilities to control plants and toxins made her a dangerous opponent. However, over the years, she has also developed a romantic interest in Batman, often using her powers to try and win him over. Poison Ivy is the embodiment of a Wattpad reader trying to ensure her enemies to lovers trope becomes a reality by doing everything in her power. She is shown to use her choice of chemicals on multiple occasions to woo Batman and make him fall in love with him. Batman has depicted that he has feelings for Ivy, but most of the time, it is because of her pheromones. It is such a one-sided dynamic that Batman carries antidotes with him to fight against Ivy and her chemical romance. When not for antidotes, Batman has successfully stopped her devious plans by using his sheer willpower against her mind control. Batman has always done his best to remain steadfast in his pursuit of justice, never letting his emotions get in the way of his duties as a superhero. However, there have been instances where he has shown a soft spot for Poison Ivy. He considers her more human than a plant as opposed to her convictions, and believes she has a shred of humanity left in her as compared to the other members of Batman's rogue gallery. Their relationship is portrayed as complicated, with Batman struggling to reconcile his feelings for Poison Ivy with his sense of duty, and Poison Ivy torn between her love for Batman and her desire to protect the environment. The romantic relationship between Batman and Poison Ivy remains a controversial topic among fans and critics alike. Some believe that it adds an interesting dynamic to the characters, while others feel that it detracts from the core themes of the Batman mythos. Talia al Ghul, the mother of Batman's son. Batman and Talia al Ghul have a complicated and tumultuous relationship in the DC Comics universe. Talia is the daughter of Ra's al Ghul, the leader of the League of Assassins, and she is often portrayed as one of Batman's love interests. Their relationship began in the 1970s, when Talia was introduced as a love interest for Batman. Their attraction was immediate and intense, but complicated by the fact that they were on opposite sides of the law. Talia is often torn between her loyalty to her father and her love for Batman, who represents everything that Ra's al Ghul opposes. Over the years, Talia and Batman have had a number of romantic encounters, including a son out of wedlock named Damian Wayne, who later becomes Robin. However, their relationship is often fraught with conflict and betrayal, as Talia is shown to constantly struggle with balancing her love for Batman and her fidelity to her father and the League of Assassins. To fool Batman is not an easy task, but Talia was able to manage this by seducing him and making him believe what they had was mutual love. In reality, all Talia sought was a merger between the Al Ghul and Wayne bloodlines to produce the highest caliber fighter ever to live. She wanted to create a perfect warrior, and Bruce believed that he had finally stumbled upon something real. Right after Damian's birth, he was trained in the harshest of environments in the most ruthless ways to prepare him to become the successor of Ra's al Ghul. Despite their complicated relationship, Batman and Talia share a deep respect and understanding for each other, as they are both highly skilled fighters and strategists. They have often found themselves working together to fight common enemies, although their loyalties are always in question. The relationship between Batman and Talia al Ghul is a complex one that is full of passion, danger, and conflicting loyalties. Their interactions are always intriguing, as both characters struggle to reconcile their feelings for each other with their respective roles as hero and villain. Andrea Beaumont, Batman's first love and her remarkable transformation as Phantasm. First appearing in the movie Batman: Mask of the Phantasm, the romantic relationship between Batman and Andrea Beaumont is a significant plot point in the film. Andrea Beaumont was the daughter of the successful businessman named Carl Beaumont, one of the richest out there. Andrea had lost her mother Victoria earlier in her life. She attended Gotham University, where she met Bruce for the first time. This was way before Batman came into existence, although Bruce's ideals remained the same. Andrea was Bruce Wayne's romantic interest during this time, and the two fell in love. They shared a deep connection, and eventually, Bruce even asked her to marry him. Initially, she approved and was willing to marry him, but due to the conniving ways of her father earning his fortune, she had to return Bruce's ring to him and escape with her father to the far reaches of Europe to live a secret life. However, when Andrea's father refused to financially aid the only person who knew their whereabouts, it resulted in him making their location public. This led to the mafias pursuing Carl and eventually killing him. This was Andrea's descent into a life she never wished to acquire. After her return, she took on the identity of the Phantasm, seeking revenge against the same gangsters responsible for her father's death. As Batman investigated Phantasm's actions, he discovered that Andrea was the one behind the mask. Their reunion was bittersweet, as they both realized that their past love could not be rekindled. The relationship between Batman and Andrea Beaumont highlights the struggle between love and duty. Both characters had to make difficult choices and sacrifices for the greater good. In the end, they chose to prioritize their responsibilities as heroes, and otherwise, over their personal feelings. The relationship between Batman and Andrea Beaumont is a complex and emotionally charged storyline that adds depth and dimension to the Batman universe. On a side note, Phantasm's design seemed to be inspired by the ninjas of Mortal Kombat, and her scythe-like blades, hooded figure, and overall color scheme are really well made, adding a lot of charisma to the character. Jezebel Jet and her tragic love story featuring Batman. Jezebel Jet was introduced in the Batman the Black Glove storyline as a wealthy socialite and fashion icon who became romantically involved with Bruce Wayne. Their relationship was quite complicated, with a whole lot of factors affecting them. Jezebel and Bruce first interacted with one another when they met at a fundraiser event at a London art gallery. Bruce is not keen on attending the event, but he is persuaded by Alfred, who wants his master to go out and indulge his non-Batman persona, the one that is a womanizing playboy billionaire. Although the two spent considerable time together after being acquainted at the event, towards the end, Jezebel refuses to offer Bruce her number and states that she has a reputation to maintain and is not interested in becoming another one of the Wayne girls. Eventually, the two would get together and the romantic relationship would begin. Each aspect of their relationship was heavily monitored and investigated by various parties such as the paparazzi, Talia al Ghul, who still wishes to be a part of Batman's life, and various journalists. Bruce Wayne's dual life as Batman started to get in the way of Jezebel and him having a successful relationship. Bruce would constantly disappear, leaving Jezebel in the mud with no answers and only suspicions. On one such occasion, Jezebel and Bruce were kidnapped, and Bruce had to fight his way out of there while protecting her. During this time, Jet made the revelation that Bruce was Batman, answering her doubts about him. But as is the fashion with Batman and romance, all of it came tumbling down when Jezebel revealed that she was a part of the organization called Black Glove, and was in cahoots with them in trying to kill Batman. Her plan was to get as close to him as she could to extract information about him, but in a tremendous plot twist, it is revealed that Batman knew this all along and was faking being in love with her, just like her. Even though Jezebel was able to escape the wrath of Batman on this occasion, she was later killed by Talia al Ghul, who was jealous of her from the very beginning. Nocturna, aka Princess of the Night, and the Dark Knight's passionate affair. Batman and Nocturna's romantic relationship was a significant storyline in the Batman comics during the late 1980s and early 1990s. Nocturna, also known as Natalia Knight, is a wealthy socialite who suffers from a rare skin condition that causes her to be sensitive to light. She also has a strong affinity for the night, and she is a skilled thief. Batman and Nocturna's relationship began as an attraction based on their shared love of the night. However, they soon realized they had more in common than just that. Batman saw in Nocturna a chance for redemption and a way to break his cycle of loneliness, while Nocturna found in Batman a partner who understood her and shared her passion for adventure. Sadly, the foundation of their love was formed on a base of manipulation, as it was later revealed that Natalia used a drug to ensure that Batman would fall deeply in love with her. Batman was able to come out of this infatuation when he realized that his feelings were not just of love but obsession. The weirdest twist in Batman and Nocturna's relationship does not come solely solely from the fact that she was a criminal whose partner Batman apprehended, but it came from the fact that Natalia Knight became Jason Todd's surrogate mother and even won the case for his custody against Batman. Jason and Natalia's relationship were successful due to their past traumas bringing them closer together. It was so loving that Natalia considered giving up on her criminal ways for her little boy. Eventually, Bruce was able to win custody over Jason once more and became his legal guardian again. Later, the three would reconcile their relationship. Their relationship was tempestuous, as Nocturna was torn between her love for Batman and her criminal activities. Additionally, Batman struggles to reconcile his desire for a normal life with his duty to protect Gotham City. Eventually, their relationship ended when Nocturna faked her death and left Gotham City. When Batman was betrayed by Queen Bee, aka Marcia Monroe. Marcia Monroe was the daughter of an extremely well-off man. She was the definition of a spoiled brat who believed that nothing wrong could ever happen to her. Her way of life has repeatedly resulted in her being put headfirst into danger and situations that no one should ever be in. Her adamant nature in believing that she was untouchable due to her getting everything she wanted in life led her to become a menace to the police. She constantly brewed up trouble for the police to handle, who eventually had to rescue her. On one such occasion, Marcia's shenanigans forced Batman to enter the equation. He showed up to rescue her from her plight, but also reprimanded her for what she did. He did so quite publicly by making her go down on the ground and spanking her in front of everyone to see. This weird encounter made Marcia feel the wrath of a man more powerful than her, who would dominate her when she was being reckless, but also rescue her. Because of this, Marcia starts developing feelings for Batman. She started following Batman on his various adventures and provided unsolicited help to the Cape Crusader. Batman was always surprised as he did not expect her to act in such a way, but after she confessed her love for him, the two became quite an intimate couple. That was until the day she disappeared without any explanation or context. After a long time, Batman meets Marcia again when he saves a girl from being hit by an arrow, later realizing it's her. She requested Batman's aid in returning a gem her father stole. When Batman agreed and helped her, she instead framed him for the crime. She had donned the moniker of Queen Bee and joined a crime syndicate, but when members of the syndicate threatened to kill Batman, Queen Bee stepped up and helped Batman escape his captors. Before allowing him to escape, Bee gave Batman the real stolen gem so he could clear his name and ensure that she would stall his assailants for as long as she could. The time when Sophia Santos lured Batman. Appearing in the pre-Crisis universe, Sophia Santos was a one-shot character from the Bronze Age of Batman comics. Sophia was an international terrorist hailing from an Italian background. She was a wanted criminal being hunted by Interpol before she came to Gotham City and joined the Death's Head terrorist group under the deceiving alias Thanatos. Deceiving because Thanatos was assumed to be male, raising no suspicions towards Sophia. With the terrorist group, Thanatos started a criminal campaign in Gotham and aimed to break into Star Labs to gain powerful weaponry and gadgets to further accentuate their cause. Apart from being Thanatos, Sophia donned another alias. This time, it was of an innocent civilian reporter who would use her gorgeous looks and position to lure Gotham's wealthiest and most influential men. Her reporter identity was Lena Muller, and she was quite proficient at getting what she wanted. Eventually, she targeted Bruce Wayne to capitalize on his vast and endless money streams. She seduced him and persuaded him to go to the Gotham Isle. There, she influenced Bruce through the use of a machine created by Amos Fortune that forced him to continue gambling even if his sense of judgment told him to stop. However, Bruce is eventually able to realize that his decision-making skills have been compromised, and Batman being Batman shrugs off its effects and corrects his behavior by regaining control of his own mind. He soon captured Amos and investigated the suspicious Lena Muller further. Through this investigation, Batman was able to figure out who Lena actually was and tie strings between her and Thanatos while also figuring out that she was a gambling addict herself. Following this, Batman orchestrated a trap on Gotham Isle and made sure to lure an unsuspecting Thanatos there. This trap worked perfectly, and Batman was able to ambush Thanatos and her gang. He soon defeated them and allowed the Gotham City Police Department to apprehend them. She was captured and her criminal streak was put to an end. Batman's apparently innocent love interest Mio turned out to be a dreaded assassin, Penumbra. Mio was an everyday village girl residing in an unknown valley in the Himalayas. Coincidentally, she lived near the valley of the legendary martial artist named Shihan Matsuda. Matsuda was one of the mainstay masters of Bruce Wayne before he was Batman, and he was considered a myth. Shihan wished for Bruce to become a god amongst men through their training, and made sure he remembered never to let anyone close to his heart. Mio fell in love with Bruce during his training, and the two got acquainted while Bruce went on trips to the blacksmith in the valley. One fateful day, Bruce was awakened by cries of agony of his master, who was attacked in his sleep. The unsuspecting martial arts master was stabbed while he was in the safety of his home. Rushing to his room, Bruce attempted to fight off the masked assailant responsible for his master's plight. While fighting, Bruce realized that it was actually Mio attacking Shihan before he could get any answers from her. Bruce was attacked by Shihan's wife. It was revealed that she hired Mio as an assassin to kill her husband. She wanted to do so because she had grown tired of Matsuda and wanted an out from their emotionless and dull marriage. She had grown to hate her husband and hence wanted him dead. In the following struggle, Shihan used his last burst of energy to kill his own wife. When Bruce reverted his attention from his dying master to Mio, she was gone and he was not able to talk to her. After her successful assassination of Matsuda, Mio returned to her master Talia al Ghul, who reprimanded her for being emotionally weak and developing feelings for Bruce. Following this, Raish started training Mio in the way of the shadows. She soon donned the moniker of Penumbra and became a master of the shadows. On a mission to assassinate the Prime Minister of Bhutan, Penumbra encounters Batman, who attempts to put a stop to her plans. Both of them were initially in the dark about their real personalities, but eventually, Batman was able to deduce through her appearance and her voice that it could be Mio. When her powers dwindle through the elimination of the shadows, she is revealed to be Mio, and Batman tries to talk to her calmly. Since she did not know Batman was Bruce, she resisted his approach and disappeared when she got the chance. She was later reprimanded by Raish for her failures and sent to the cells after being told that he did not need her services at all. Batman's feelings for Harley Quinn don't go unnoticed. The hero that is not always considered a hero, matched with a villain who is not always considered a villain. The pairing of Batman and Harley Quinn has always been apparent to long-term fans of the Caped Crusader. Harley Quinn is famously known as Joker's blind lover, who initially wanted to help him become better, but ended up basically being a pawn for him. She was manipulated and transformed into a completely different person by the Joker, who further used her love for him to get what he wanted. She saw the Joker as a macho man who was strong and would dominate her, both mentally and physically. That was the most endearing trait she saw in him, until Batman came along, and in his repeated battles with the Joker, it was established that Batman was the actual man in this equation. Batman always managed to restrain the Joker without killing him or even harming him, to the extent that Joker was trying against him. Joker had failed to prove his strength and worth to Harley. In addition, Batman was always gentle with Harley at first, and even though he was intimidating, he always tried to reason with her. In her flawed sense of realizing and pursuing masculine figures, Harley saw Batman as more of a man than Joker ever was. In a unique issue published in 2015 titled Harley Quinn Valentine's Day Special No. 1, we see a twisted tale of how Bruce and Harley got together. It all started when a day's time with Bruce Wayne was being auctioned to the highest bidder as a charity event. Harley hears of this event and decides to steal money from the rich to use and orchestrate a meeting with Bruce Wayne. Harley became the highest bidder, but her plans were thwarted by the Carp, who kidnapped Bruce Wayne. Determined to be with him, Harley followed and saved Bruce from his captors. Before the two could part ways after the tiring day, Harley requested a kiss from Bruce, who obliged. Later, Harley is approached by Batman, who kisses her as a way of appreciating her efforts to save Bruce. She responded by stating that Batman could take some lessons from kissing from his friend Bruce. This was but one instance where the two actually engaged with each other in the most unthinkable way. But apart from this, there were plenty of moments that suggest that both of them fancy each other. But since their lives and personalities are miles apart, they can never seem to be together, no matter how hard they try. Conclusion. In conclusion, Batman doesn't really have the cleanest record when it comes to his dating sheet. He has made some misinformed decisions and has repeatedly had his heart broken. It's funny how Bruce Wayne is always the one ending up in these stories where he faces betrayal, because even the world's greatest detective has a weaker side, and that is his Bruce Wayne personality. When Batman does not think like a detective, he is shown to be quite naive and submitting to his emotions. This whole ordeal is quite sad, really, as we have not yet seen Batman being truly happy, and also finding that source of happiness with someone else. Seeing how Batman himself is a well-established gentleman alongside his entourage of beautiful but villainous maidens, it is safe to say Bruce is tired of dealing with his rogues gallery and is trying to build one of his vogues gallery. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.